Hey, starting to heat it up. It was feeling nice this morning when I rode to work. The car had been sitting in the parking lot instead of heated up. The truck's done heated up like an oven in the cab. I think it might be good for me though. They say that we kind of cook to death. This person clearly isn't going to stop. I did not see them stop at the stop sign back there either. They was just I'm feeling like shit this week. Now today compared to the other days is good. And I'm off work early enough on this Friday. I do a lot of heavy lifting, but I don't mind it. I mean, I think work is good just for hormone health. If a man's not working, he's not going to be happy. Now, let's say he doesn't have a job, he needs to lift weights or something. I think as a man, we're not wired to be sedentary. We're not wired to work all the time and never catch a break either, but intense workout followed by rest and recovery, intense workout followed by rest and recovery with a rhythm, with a healthy rhythm. I think all of society is kind of off pace. It's supposed to be kind of like a heartbeat. Work long and hard, rest. Work medium length of day, rest. Work hard, rest. Like butt on. Oops. We're way past being off the natural rhythm. People talking about transhumanism, cyborgs, and all that kind of stuff. We're getting further and further removed from the rhythm of nature. I think it's detrimental to our health. They've got all kind of crazy stuff in vaccines these days. Some of these vaccines have aborted baby cells in them. Just absolutely. They're giving babies STD prevention shots that have mercury and aluminum in them. What's a baby need an STD prevention shot for? It's absolutely insane. Got teenagers having their whole development messed up because they're on birth control, messing with their hormones. These are decent generation anymore. They don't really try them. They just like turn them over to the wolves, sit them in front of a TV or a phone or a tablet. Nobody really takes time to mentor the youth. Everybody's getting lazier and lazier about all kind of things. Like the very fact that nursing homes exist is a sign of sickness in our society. There's not any extended family to help our elderly or our young. Everybody's just off on their own. Community is sort of eroding away to nothing, being replaced only with a civil identity. And globalists are talking about wanting to get rid of, they're talking about wanting to get rid of parenthood altogether and have the state raise children. That's pretty crazy and probably a really bad idea. And there's also this culture of death, like this suicidal culture. What kind of culture promotes abortion? What kind of culture promotes homosexuality? What kind of culture promotes debt? What kind of culture promotes pornography? What kind of culture promotes the welfare state? I'm not talking about, there's a big difference between voluntary charity and forced redistribution of wealth. I used to be a libertarian. That was when not most of my life, but in my 20s, I was kind of a constitutionalist, leaning libertarian. And then as time goes on, I just think I was kind of naive about human nature. People don't want enough responsibility that you can trust them with freedom. If you were really going to have freedom, because people are not being responsible, other people lose their freedom. It shouldn't be that some demographics are net taxpayers and others are not. It shouldn't be that entire classes of people live off of government welfare. Because what you've done is you've taken away the freedom of some and caused them to be slaves for the other. But what's even worse is you've made those who do not produce, those who do not work, those who are incompetent, the slave masters over the producers. It's not good. It's kind of like humans are eating themselves. There's no chat. When I get home, I got Welch's grape juice. It's gonna probably get me better the rest of the way. I'm not eating any more solid foods. I'm gonna probably go without food for 5 days. After I go without food for 5 days, my body will switch from growing to cleaning itself out, to repairing itself. It'll free up a lot of my immune system, not having to watch my intestinal tract. I think about 70% of the immune system is normally dedicated to food processing. You've got a lot of surface area there. And it will just give my body a break. When I was a child and a teenager and a young adult, I practiced fasting for religious reasons, and then I quit fasting. And there's a lot of health benefits. I wasn't even doing it for the health benefits, but I didn't realize all the people would ask me a lot of times. I'm not talking about now. I'm 38, but before I started showing my age, they would always think I was younger than what I was, and they'd ask, what was I doing? And I would mention a few things about what I ate or exercised, but I never mentioned fasting. I didn't really think about it. But that was probably what was making the difference back in the day. And of course, that was before I started drinking alcohol, which I've quit that a long time ago, and hard drugs and quit those. But that, I really think, I'm not on any kind of hard drugs or anything anymore, but I really think women aged me more than the drugs did. I really do. The stress of some of my exes, I just saw myself age like 4 or 5 years in a year. The lack of sleep, the stress, it was just, man, I learned a lot, bro. Message retracted. I don't know what you said. Yo, what's up? I'm just headed home after work. Only worked 2 days this week. I ain't never been, I guess it's just about being 38 instead of 21, You just don't repair and heal and bounce back quite as fast. But I ain't never got sick and been scared about it. But I think, was it Wednesday? I would cough so much it felt like my heart was hurting. Couldn't breathe. I was so congested. I ain't never coughed up so thick and stretchy, just like the most nastiest, thickest, almost like rubbery. And everybody's about getting sick at about the same time. Sometimes I think they just sort of see us like cockroaches and they just try to spray us with insecticides and kill us. And then they're like, oh fuck, they adapted. They're still alive. Because, sometimes when there is that heavy spraying, people get sick after that. And I'm not saying that's what it is, but it's probably not helping. It's probably not helping to spray aluminum in the air and in the soil. It's probably not. I don't like that Bill Gates is buying up so much McDonald's shares. He's probably on the board and controlling it now. He's talking about he's going to change the Big Mac. I don't know what he's going to do. I wouldn't put it past him to put lab-grown meat and mealworms in there. I'm not eating it no more. If Bill Gates is If it's water, food, medicine from Bill Gates, I don't want it, because the man has made it very clear he wants to reduce the population of the earth by billions. He's only wanting so many hundreds of thousands of people on earth. I think they don't need us no more because they got the robots and all the AI and all kind of other things. These people are living really long, a lot of them. They're stealing a lot of that lifespan from children. They come out in the headlines today about how they've proved that if you take marrow and blood from the young and put it in the old, it has anti-aging effects. And these people are greedy vampires. Because you see, let's say I give blood, right? It's not just I give blood, my body makes more blood, no harm, no foul. That's not, it's more, once you lose blood, your body has to make more blood. And it sacrifices red marrow, converts red marrow to yellow marrow. As you age, you have less and less red marrow. It's pretty much gets replaced with yellow marrow. And then you can't just keep making new blood and new stem cells and everything forever. So when they take this blood and these bone marrow from the young and these rich people pay for it, they're increasing their life by shortening the life of these children. It's a god-awful selfishness. It's a god-awful type of vampirism to vampire off of the future generations by debt and stem cells and everything. This sacrificing all these babies, killing all these babies in the womb for stem cells so that adults can live longer. That's not a very mature and adult thing to do. It's a very childish thing to do, actually, to not accept reality that you're mortal and that you're going to die and that it's okay. You have a time, and then it's time for you to go and make room for new life and the next generation. And it's just a terrible thing. It needs to end. It was so god-awful in the first place that they were killing babies to avoid responsibility. But now that they're putting the fetal cells in anti-aging creams and putting the fetal cells in vaccines, now they say we need to keep it going. We got to keep killing these babies because we need these vaccines. We got to keep killing these babies because we need these anti-wrinkle skin creams. It's just Vladimir Putin, when he talks about the vampire ball ending, he's not being a conspiracy theorist. He's not making a metaphor. He's dead serious. Vladimir Putin means it when he talks about the vampire ball that has to end. These people really are trying to, and my air conditioner, I've told y'all before, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Something wrong with the circuit board, the computer in the truck. It has decided just now to kick on, which is awesome. I do want to say something else about George Floyd, okay? Because I was defending Charlie Kirk, calling him a scumbag because of the terrible types of violent crimes that he's done. But on another note about that, to be fair, okay, the cop did have his knee on his neck for like 9 minutes. And had that not happened, the man wouldn't have died. And I do not believe that the cop should have had his, he shouldn't have killed him. He should have strangled him to death. He should have had a fair trial. So I'm not saying that he deserved to die. I'm not saying that he died of fentanyl overdose, like some people say. It was in his system. But he really did. He really did put a gun to, I can't say her name. It's like Arciela Rodriguez, something like that. And there's another woman and toddlers in the house at the time. So you had 2 women and children in the house while he robs them. So I'm saying he was a scumbag, but he was a victim. Let's say it, but after resisting arrest and all kind of other things too, But it's hard to, Like some people are angry that he didn't get more sympathy than Charlie Kirk. It's harder to be sympathetic of someone who is a menace to society. When something bad happens to a bad person, you just kind of figure they deserve it. But when something bad happens to someone who didn't do anything, Charlie Kirk, he did not do any violence. He did not hold any political office. He just debated people. And he was winning the debate. That's why he got rid of him. He was also starting to come around on the Israeli question. About to be in Whitlock County. I would almost stop at the store and get something to drink because I'm so thirsty, but it's just I saw that Whitlock County sign and I was thinking Alamo. I still got to go through Glenwood. But I've talked against the welfare state and against this and that, but I'll talk about what I'm for, Hey, what's up? Can you help me, please? Hey, you. Hey, I didn't see your comments because I'm driving. I might be able to help you, but you've left the chat. But if you come back in the chat, tell you what I'm for. I'm for sustainable agriculture. I'm for family. Hey, I don't know if you're the same person that commented before. Now I see one person watching. I didn't see you comment while I was driving. You said, can I help you, please? And with what? Maybe I can. I don't know. If you're someone else, then, well, but if you say, hey, can you help me, please? And then you don't say what with, then I probably can't help you. You gotta tell me what you need help with. Now, when you say yes to somebody, you're saying no to everything else, that fills that time slot. So the only way you can say yes is to say no to something else. So it really depends. But today, actually, I don't have as many limiting factors as I would normally have. I might be more able to help somebody. Brittany's at work. I'm off work earlier than normal. It's the heat of the day. I'm not going to go out there and water them trees till it cools off some. On the other end of that, you probably don't want to catch what I got. It's some kind of bad flu. Because this woman, I ain't gonna lie, she could go a whole year without eating and she wouldn't starve. She come into the restaurant and say she about to waste away, or she acting like she about to die. She needs food right then. There's 1,500 calories of fat in 1 pound of human fat. And the average person burns about 1,800 calories a day. If you're not doing any kind of major working out or anything, that might bring it up to 2,000 calories or so. But if you're just maintaining a regular sized body, brain, muscles, guts, organs, just to maintain yourself, that's about 1,800 calories. So let's say you don't eat for a day. You're going to at least burn 1,800 calories. So a pound of human fat has 1,500 calories. So you just about got to go 2 days without eating anything, and this is like specifically once your body goes into ketosis and switches off burning the carbs stored in your liver, the sugar stored in your blood, when you actually get to fat burning mode, 1 day of not eating, you lose 1,800 calories. 18 and 18 is 36. I'm saying something wrong here. It's 300. I'm trying to remember now. No, there's more than 1,000. What did I forgot what number I said of how much calories is in a pound of human fat. I probably said a number that's lower than what it is. I think it's 3,500 calories. Well, if it was 3,600 calories, then it would take 2 days at rest, burning 1,800 calories a day to get rid of that pound. So but basically, it's not exactly, but it's about 2 days you lose a pound of fat. So this woman, if she's got 180 pounds of extra fat, and she does, she's one of those fat people like gargantuan, like super, like jumbo sized, like Squidbilly woman sized. That might be a little of an exaggeration, but about there, you know what I'm saying? So to say that if, not that she misses a meal, but if one of her meals takes a little bit longer to get here, that she's going to waste away or starve, is absolutely absurd and ridiculous. And I don't know, I'm the kind of person, I don't want to hurt someone's feelings, but at the same time, I don't know if I'd have been able to keep my mouth shut. If I would have been there when she said that and heard that. If I would have heard it, I think I would have had to call it out. I'd have been like, no, you're not going to starve. It would take you more than a year to starve. It would actually, after about the third or fourth day, she'd probably start feeling a lot better and a lot happy and a lot healthy. All she really needs is water and electrolytes, some B vitamins, some minerals. She doesn't really need to eat anything at all whatsoever for about a year. For real. And that would be healthier. Like, there comes to be a certain point where it's not healthy to eat anymore. Like not even just a little bit. Like, it gets to be a certain point, you need to burn that surplus fat off because it's just taxing your heart too much. In Japan, there's no people that big at all in Japan. But if you're in Japan, it's not even that it's socially acceptable to fat shame people. It's not socially acceptable to not do it. So if your belly starts sticking out a little bit too far, just random strangers in Japan will come like pat on your belly and be like, whoa, you're a fat boy, you're fat. Like, draw attention to it and shame you and be like, yo, look, you're getting out of bounds. You're getting, in the ancient Gauls used to find each other. If their belly fat was hanging over their belt, and in Japan, they'll pat their belly, just walk up and be like, yo, you're getting fat. But in America, it's considered rude to even acknowledge that the fat person is fat. But it's just the audacity for me. It's the audacity to, at the same time that you're like that size, to even say that you're at risk of starving. It's just, but it's to be expected because a lot of people in America, they don't even know the difference between the word want and need. They think every desire they have is a need. And I blame a lot of Jewish psychologists for this, but it's not just their fault. It's the people at large. I just don't understand how people have confused wants with needs. Everything you desire is not something you need. You don't need everything you desire. And I don't know when people started calling just basic wants needs. And that's just part of If you were to try to aim high in civilization, and you were trying to be great, it would require you to not tolerate certain things. It would require you to be blunt about certain truths. If you were to have a high standard, somebody's getting left out. Somebody's kind of might get picked on a little bit. And I'm not saying that I'm not saying, I don't know. You know, in the 80s or in the 90s, I would have probably just said that bullying is bad no matter what. But then after everybody said, don't do it, and I was never a bully. I got bullied. I never bullied people. But now I see what's happened now that it's people feel that it's wrong to shame people for degenerate behavior. And now I see the result of it. I think there does need to be some shaming in society. Unless you just don't want a great civilization, if you're okay with but I'm just starting to get disgusted by my own country. You know, I'm starting to not feel at home in my own country. The culture has changed so much. And it's like anything that used to be seen as noble and true, now they're trying to demonize it, and they're trying to normalize the most abnormal, freakish, unhealthy lifestyles. People are calling to normalize that. And there was a reason why certain things weren't seen as normal to begin with. Y'all probably don't want to hear any complaining. Now, well, I know there's much worse places to live. And a lot of times, if you point out anything that's not, if you point out anything in America that could be improved, it offends people. And they say, well, if you don't like it, go move somewhere else. This is the greatest country in the world. And let's say that that's true. Just concede on that point. Even if this was the greatest country in the world, that's not a justification for not improving things, fixing things. But I think if we remember how we become a great nation by normalizing the abnormal. We didn't become a great by campaigning against slut shaming and fat shaming. These things did not make us a great nation. We did not become a great nation by opening the border to all the masses either. America ascended into greatness when it put the stress on personal responsibility, a sense of civic duty, and we had a moral standard. And the country was God-fearing too. The country didn't fear to not have the acceptance of women. The country didn't fear the judgment of their neighbor. The country didn't fear outside forces. The country feared God in the beginning. The country had a high moral standard. And that's what made the country great. It wasn't normalizing all the degeneracy. What we're doing now, we're going away from the foundations of the country. We're going away from truth to this. Everybody has their own truth. That's a delusion. Truth isn't something that is a matter of opinion. Truth isn't something that just you conjure up by your own decision. What is true, whether you believe it or not. And nothing defeats the truth. Truth is the highest authority. There is no authority higher than truth. The truth cannot be proven wrong. What's true is true. If every person on the planet was delusional and rejected the truth, what was true would still be true. And so there are people on the far left that now reject the very idea of definitions. They won't even define their own terms because they think it's up to each person to come up with their own definition for a word. You cannot have any kind of cohesive society with that. And it's like they're becoming the party of chaos and destruction. And it's in their language. They talk about dismantle this, smash that. You talk about revolutions, and they talk about, and then they're more and more starting to support political violence. I saw a poll where they were saying about half of the Democrats thought that it was justifiable to assassinate political opponents. And you know, in Rome, politicians in Rome, they were the senators of Rome. They did not have a separation of state and church back then. And they pretty much didn't in any countries around the world anywhere. The state was always very closely married with the religion. The senators of Rome, not only were they holding political offices, but they were holding religious offices. They were also priests. And that doesn't get taught in our secular society, but Rome had a state religion, and the senators were priests, and they were senators. They weren't just... No, everyone had a religious mandate for their state. It's a new development in secular societies. And the political leaders were seen like priests. A lot of them were sacrosanct. To attack or kill them would be seen as a religious offense, and political violence wasn't tolerated. But that began to change over time, and mobs began to assault senators and even consuls before the public assembly. And when that started to happen, it wasn't very much longer before you had civil war. You had Sulla, and then you had Julius Caesar, and then Rome had tons of civil wars. You know, it's almost become the norm of succession was to have a civil war. I don't know why any of y'all remove messages. I never delete messages. I never make people delete messages. I don't know if I'm going to post the most recent live streams. I've started to think I might even go back and delete a few, but I don't know, because I'm kind of divided. Do I want to maintain my channel, or do I just want to go for broke? And I think I probably offer more just doing my animal videos than my political videos, because I don't really hold any opinions that there isn't someone already representing. I probably can offer a lot more unique stuff just showing nature than my political views. Then also, what's the point of even sharing my political views? They've changed over time, and they'll probably continue to change. Oh man, home. I got a bucket truck over there. This phone's hot, man. It's hot. That can't be good. I guess it got that hot in the wood shop. I don't know. Maybe it's just been running too long. Or maybe where it's leaning up against this. There's got too much sun on it. It's probably this thing. I think I'll just stop the live. Nah, it asked me if I was sure. I don't know what got caught in that frame, so I'm not for real just not uploading none of the rest of them because I don't really remember. Hunter Casey. A little bit. He been asleep. Brittany's at work and I'm at work, so he just sleeps while we're gone a lot of times. I almost always find him asleep when I get here. What you saying? A little bit? You missed me?